For the longest time, I've been using an extended keyboard, and well, it's time to try something new. The smaller design from the Tenkeyless keyboard certainly piqued my attention, and so without wasting your time, let's take a look at the Durgod K320. Before we start, I was sent this keyboard by Banggood, thanks to them for providing it. I'm no salesman though, so all of this is entirely my own opinion. Opening the box, we're greeted with the keyboard itself and a quick start guide which contains some useful information about using the keyboard. The accessories included are a 2-meter USB-C to USB-A cable and a meter-long USB-C to USB-C cable. You can use either one to connect the keyboard to your PC. The removable cable is a nice touch as you're able to swap it out if it breaks or simply want to change the colour. Also included is a keycap puller, a velcro cable organizer, and a hideous sticker that no one will use. The K320 comes in different variations including the Corona, which is the model that I have, and the Nebula. The only difference between the K320 models is just the colour and the lighting. Right, so probably one of the reasons why you're considering it is its compact size. The keyboard has 87 keys compared to the usual 104 keys. What you're basically getting is a keyboard with the number pad removed. I actually prefer this over the 61 keys found in something like the NKRO since it will have nice dedicated buttons for the arrow keys. The keyboard weighs around 900 grams with the dimensions being 43.9 cm long, 13.3 cm wide, and 2.5 cm tall. Whilst the keyboard is plastic, the steel plate does eliminate keyboard flex. On the back of the keyboard you have 5 rubber feet to stop the keyboard from sliding, as well as adjustable stage flip out feet for a total of 3 different heights, a really nice touch. This makes it go from 2.5 cm minimum to a 3.8 cm maximum. It's important to know that the keyboard is angled regardless of whether you have the feet extended or not. It's comfortable, but some people might not like it. The back also has paths for cable routing. I really like this feature. And lastly, the keycaps are double-shot PBT with a cherry profile. This means that the keycaps are slightly shorter than the typical OEM keycaps, and the legend is also another piece of plastic preventing it from fading. The feel of these caps is significantly better than any Razer, Corsair or Oben's keyboard I've used. The stabilizers found in the longer keys also feel a lot better than my Corsair K95. They don't rattle, they feel very smooth. On the topic of wrist rests, this keyboard definitely benefits from having one. Banggood did send me out one of their black walnut ones, but I'm a bit disappointed with it. It doesn't come with feet, so it just slipped about, and the wood varnish missed a few places. I mean, it's usable, but I've yet to find a wrist rest that really works for it. That said, I like the design of both the K320s, but especially this one, the less expensive model. It doesn't scream gamer. The size and style means that you could easily put this into a minimalist setup or take it with you to work without attracting many eyes. The dark silver backplate looks premium, with some of the keycaps being black and the other ones being like a medium grey tone. The Corona version only offers white backlighting, but I love it. It's smooth and not harsh, and I think this is due to Durgod not surface mounting the LEDs to the board. They're actually on the switch. On the right hand side, the modifier indicators such as caps lock also light up, just not as brightly. I think it works really well. The corners are rounded, not sharp, and the visible branding is only a Durgod text in the lower right of the keyboard. Tried scratching it off with no success. And lastly, an extremely important part of the keyboard is the legend. The keyboard legend is normal, no gamery font which makes it look like a cheap toy. It's really appealing to the eye and very professional. The keyboard also features things that you'd expect from a premium gaming keyboard because you are paying a lot of money for it. Cherry mechanical switches, which we'll get onto a bit, 1000Hz polling rate, and there's also a way to disable the Windows key without having to use the software. In terms of N key rollover, I'm able to hold down every key without any signs of the inputs being blocked. I also have noticed ghosting. As you can imagine, N key rollover is essential in games as you often use more than one key simultaneously. Disabling the Windows key with the shortcut is also a nice touch. Okay, now onto switches. I'll put some timestamps down below if you want to skip this bit. For those of you unaware, Cherry are not the only mechanical switch manufacturer. There are a lot more and each person will have a different preference. Some say that Kale is the best, others prefer Omron, Gateron, Cherry, Topro, whatever. This keyboard only offers Cherry MX blues, browns, reds, and red silent switches. If this is your first keyboard, I highly suggest picking up a key switch tester. They retail for about £5 to £10, which is what, around $10, and will give you a better idea of which switch you might prefer. For a quick rundown though, the MX Reds are a linear switch, meaning that you don't feel a tactile bump. Instead it feels the same all the way down till you get the bottom of the switch. They're great for gaming because it's easy to double tap with them compared to something like blue switches which have a higher reset point. They're not clicky and easy to depress. This is what they sound like. The ones I was sent are the MX Silent Reds. These are practically the same as the MX Reds, except for that they have a dampener that reduces the noise. It doesn't eliminate it, but it's a lot quieter and lower pitch compared to the higher pitch of all the other switches. Next are the MX Blues. These switches are tactile and clicky. This means that you will feel a noticeable bump when pressing them and also provide an audible click. They're one of the more satisfying ones to use, and you can definitely use them for gaming, as with any switch. It's just that you'll definitely be picked up on the mic if you're streaming. Lastly, this keyboard also offers MX brands, which is why I'm not covering any more. The MX brand's my first switch, and probably one I'd still recommend to people new to mechanical keyboards unless they want a linear switch. They're tactile but without the loud click of the Blues. The reset point is also lower, meaning that you can more easily double tap than the Blues. They're a fantastic compromise between each type of switch, but again, get a switch tester and see what you like. In terms of the Reds versus the Red Silence, I'm just going to play some sound tests comparing them directly with and without O-rings to help you make your mind up. The lighting on my keyboard is a solid white backlight with various different modes. They're dimmable and you can change the speed and direction with simple clicks. I'll show a quick rundown of the different modes, and again, feel free to skip forward. The last thing on the agenda is software, which is the Zeus engine, and honestly I feel like this is the only downside if you care about software. As soon as I launched the program I was told to update the firmware of the keyboard. It took forever and failed numerous times, and actually left my keyboard in a limbo where it wouldn't connect to the computer and I had to restart. The lighting options in the software are exactly the same as what you can do with the function keys on the physical keyboard, and the software does allow you to disable Alt-Tab, Alt-F4, Shift-Tab, and the Windows key, as well as providing some very basic macro functionality. There is a customized tab which allows you to remap keys to certain functions, but it's only to a single value, so you can't change them with modifiers like Shift, Control, that kind of stuff. I have to say that I really have fallen in love with this keyboard, more so than the AND Pro, Corsair K95, Razer Black Widow, or any other keyboard I've owned. If you're looking for a solid keyboard with fantastic keycaps and a slick design that you can take anywhere, the K320 is definitely an option to consider. And whilst cost is relative, it would be nice to see if Durgod can improve their drive utility and just other parts about it, like including a nice wrist rest would be one. And for the price point, I think it's definitely worth it, but it could have something like that. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the keyboard that you haven't found an answer to online, shoot me a message and I'll try and get back to you. As always, have a good one. This has been Proto, and I'll see you in the next one.